Look at your arm right now. Look at the exact shade of your skin. Now imagine walking into a room filled with humans from every corner of the planet. You would see a breathtaking spectrum of colors, from deep, rich ebony to golden bronze to pale, milky white. If you stop and think about it, this is actually mind-blowing. We are the exact same species. We share 99.9% of our DNA. So why did nature give us different colored paint jobs? If you ask a racist from the past, they would tell you it means different human groups are inherently different. That is a dangerous, brainless lie. If you ask a modern person, they might say, "Oh, it's just a cosmetic adaptation to the sun." But that's only 10% of the story. The real reason behind your skin color is not a fashion choice. It is a brutal, life-or-death biological battlefield. Your skin color is a highly advanced protective radiation shield that your ancestors literally paid for in blood. And here is the ultimate plot twist. Originally, every single one of our ancestors was dark-skinned. White skin is a modern evolutionary mutation. To understand how this happened, we have to use a time machine and travel back 7 million years ago to the ancient forests of Africa. Our early ancestors were covered in thick, dark fur, just like chimpanzees. Underneath that heavy fur coat, their skin was actually pale white. But then the environment changed. The forests shrank, and the hot, treeless African savanna emerged. To survive, our ancestors had to step out into the blazing sun and run for miles to hunt. A thick fur coat under a 100-degree sun is a death sentence. It traps heat and causes heat stroke. So, evolution did something radical. It stripped away our fur, leaving us completely naked so we could sweat and stay cool. But this solved one problem and created a much more terrifying nightmare. Suddenly, our bare, pale white skin was exposed directly to the brutal, burning ultraviolet radiation of the equator. The sun became a deadly laser. When heavy UV rays strike pale skin, they cause catastrophic damage. They don't just give you a painful sunburn, they penetrate deep into your cells, violently slicing through your DNA like microscopic razor blades and causing deadly skin cancers. But more importantly, UV radiation destroys a crucial nutrient in your blood called folate. Folate is the biological building block for life. If a pregnant woman loses her folate to sun exposure, her baby can suffer from severe birth defects of the brain and spine. If a man loses his folate, his body stops producing healthy sperm. In the eyes of evolution, destroying folate means your genetic line ends immediately. Pale-skinned primates at the equator were completely wiped out. They simply could not reproduce. So how did nature save us? Enter the hero of our story, melanin. Your skin contains tiny biological factories that produce a natural pigment called melanin. Melanin is a dark chemical umbrella. When the sun gets too bright, these factories pump out massive amounts of melanin to wrap around your DNA, absorbing the dangerous UV rays and neutralizing them before they can cause damage. The more sun your ancestors faced, the more melanin their bodies produced. Over thousands of generations near the equator, humans with natural, high-performance melanin factories survived and thrived. Their skin turned a beautiful, protective, dark charcoal color. It was the perfect biological armor. It saved humanity from extinction. But then, about 60,000 years ago, ancient humans did something crazy. They packed up their bags and walked out of Africa. They started migrating north into Europe and Asia. And as they walked farther away from the equator, the rules of the survival game completely flipped upside down. In northern places like Europe, the sun is weak. It hides behind thick clouds for months. The UV rays are incredibly low. Suddenly, the protective dark melanin shield that kept humans alive in Africa became a deadly prison. Why? Because your body needs a small amount of UV light to survive. When UV rays hit your skin, they trigger a chemical reaction that creates vitamin D. Vitamin D is not optional. It is the calcium supervisor. Without it, your bones become soft, weak, and deformed, a disease called rickets. For a primitive human, weak bones meant you couldn't run, your pelvis would crush, women couldn't give birth, and everyone died. Dark-skinned humans in freezing dark Europe were starving for vitamin D because their heavy melanin umbrella blocked every single drop of the weak sunlight. They were facing a silent extinction. So evolution had to adapt fast. It ruthlessly broke the melanin factories. A series of genetic mutations occurred, stripping the dark pigment away from the northern migrants. Their skin became thinner, lighter, and completely translucent. Pale skin emerged as a desperate survival mechanism to let every microscopic drop of weak sunlight penetrate the body and generate life-saving vitamin D. So, what is the ultimate lesson here? Light skin is not superior to dark skin. Dark skin is not superior to light skin. They are simply two different engineering solutions to the exact same problem, balancing the sun's radiation. If your ancestors lived where the sun was a killer, they needed a heavy dark armor. If they lived where the sun was a rare treasure, they needed a transparent pale window. Your skin color is not a badge of identity or a division of race. It is a beautiful living map of where your ancestors stood on this planet and how hard they fought to keep you alive. If this mind-blowing piece of evolutionary engineering made you look at your own skin differently, do not just sit there. Go ahead and hit that like button right now. It helps the algorithm share this knowledge with more curious minds. Drop a comment below and let me know. Did you know that our original skin was actually white under the fur? I want to read your thoughts, and most importantly, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you can return for our next deep dive into the gross, weird, and absolutely genius mysteries of our human bodies. Thank you for watching, stay curious, and see you in the next video.